We're live. Welcome to the Dead Zone. It's week 1, baby. We made it. We made it. We're live. I've not prepared for a second for this show. It's going to be a disaster, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We're ready. We're ready for week 1. I can't believe it. Can't believe we're here. Terrible game on Thursday. A lot of things that I predicted have already gone wrong. It's been a terrible season already. Just toss in the towel and be done with it. But we'll talk about that in a few minutes. This is basically what we're going to do tonight. It's kind of leaving it open to you, the audience. So we're going to talk a little bit of Underdog Fantasy, go through my picks on Underdog. Promo code YARDSPER gets you a $100 deposit match on Underdog. So we'll go through those. I got about 10 or 12 or whatever. We'll talk maybe a little bit of DFS. But otherwise, we're going to open this thing up to you on TikTok, on YouTube. Submit your start sit questions. We'll go through them. I don't plan on this show being super long, but if you're flooding me with questions, we might stay as long, and I might stay up all the way till kickoff. Who knows? But if I don't get to one of your questions today or whatever, we are going to go live again tomorrow for the last hour up to kickoff, hammering start sit questions. So I'm excited for that. Anyway, let's talk some Underdog. Like I said, promo code YARDSPER, 100% deposit match up to $100. There's about 10 or so plays that I am going with. The first is going to be Kyle Pitts. They've got him at 10.45 fantasy points. I'm smashing the over on that. The Falcons may be terrible, but at least they have Kyle Pitts, right? He had the greatest season of any rookie tight end we've ever seen last year. I don't know what's going on here. Fuck. All right, we're back. We're back on YouTube. Internet, here we go again, I guess, right? We had this issue a few weeks ago, but we survived it. Yeah. Anyway, we were talking Rashad Penny or AJ Dillon for week 1. So I was starting to say that we have a start sit tool at yardsperfantasy.com. So all you got to do, and that's what I'm going to do right here, it goes against my rankings. So we're going to type in AJ Dillon, and we're going to type in Rashad Penny, and it's going to kick out exactly who I have ranked. We could talk standard scoring. We could talk PPR scoring. We could talk half PPR scoring. So in PPR and half PPR, it is very close. I have AJ Dillon ranked RB22 and Rashad Penny ranked RB24. So if Allen Lazard is going to miss this week, which it sounds like he's going to end up not playing, the running backs are going to be heavily involved. They're already going to be. And I think with Lazard out, it's going to be they're just going to rely on the running backs. I mean, who are they going to throw to? Romeo Doubs, Randall Cobb, Sammy Watkins. I mean, come on. Let's move on. Do you watch college football? I really don't. I don't have time to watch college football. I can dedicate my Sunday to watch all of football. I can't do it on Saturdays too. I used to watch college football back in the day. I can't get there. I I just don't have the time, unfortunately. Sorry, I didn't hear your response. We're saying AJ Dillon. Patrick Mahomes. Come on. We're not going to ask stupid questions. That's Patrick Mahomes. All right. Let's keep moving. We're going to talk some underdog fantasy. Trey Lance, 206.5 passing yards. We're going to take the under. As much as I love Trey Lance, all right, in fantasy, I think he literally has QB1 upside, the number one QB upside in any given week. And even for the season, if he hits as a passer with that rushing ability, ooh, baby. But for this week, 206.5 passing yards. They got him at on underdog. I can't imagine the 49ers let Lance just let it loose in this one. They don't need to. I mean, they're playing against the fucking Bears. They're going to play it safe against a terrible Bears team. It's just going to be about the running game. They're probably going to be without George Kittle. I mean, that smashed the under on Trey Lance for passing yards on underdog. How about Jalen Hurts or Lamar rest of season? We're going to go Lamar Jackson. As much as I love Jalen Hurts, I think they're both top 5 quarterbacks for the season. I have them ranked both top 5. I think I have Jackson, QB3 coming in for the season. Jalen Hurts at QB5. Valdez-Scantling or Kadarius Toney. We're going to go Valdez-Scantling. I think this could be an MVS week for sure. It's going to be a shootout there between the Cardinals and the Chiefs. MVS is going to get some of those deep targets that Tyreek Hill left behind. Yeah. I could definitely see this being an MVS spike week. Absolutely. Cardinals secondary is brutal. Beat them deep, baby. Beat them deep. Let's go. Pierce, Stevenson, or Patterson. We're going to go Dameon Pierce. We got to kind of just watch and see, is how involved is he going to be in the passing game? Is Rex Burkhead going to be, the third down back there in Houston? I don't know. We don't know. We'll have to see. I do know that we liked Dameon Pierce coming out of Florida as a pass catcher. So we know he can do it. We've seen him do it at Florida. I mean, small sample, but he's shown that he has the skills to do it. But it just comes down to are the Texans going to give him that opportunity, especially this early in the season? I'm not sure. With that said, I'm still going Dameon Pierce in that game over those guys. This guy finishes 12 in a 10-player league. Thank you. I get a lot of those comments lately, especially after my Cam Akers take. So if you haven't heard, I loved Cam Akers coming into the season. I've loved Cam Akers for a year and a half. And it's looking like it's not going to work out. And yet my video about Cam Akers from like a month and a half ago on YouTube has suddenly been blowing up the last couple of days. I wonder why. But yeah, I'm not ready to take the L on Cam Akers. We'll just address this now. I'm not ready to take the L. I'm not ready. It's not going to happen yet. It's probably going to end up happening in a few weeks. I'll take the L. Give me week 4. Let's talk again in week 4. I'm not ready to take the L now. It's not like Darrell Henderson was lighting it up out there. For one, I mean, the usage was terrible. He looked terrible when he was out there. I'll give you that. But I mean, let's remember, this is a guy who, coming off the Achilles, also battled injuries throughout training camp. I know Henderson did as well, but maybe Henderson just kind of recovered a little bit quicker. Different injuries, different players. One's coming off a major injury, a little bit slower to come back. But if we look back at the usage from in the postseason, Akers took 75% of the running back carries, 19 touches per game. We can't just say it's over after week 1 against the Bills. It's probably over, but we can't take the L yet. I'm not ready to take the L. Like I said, talk to me in a few weeks. I'll take it then if it's still looking like this. I'm on Ross St. Brown or Rashad Penny. We're going to go I'm on Ross St. Brown. I think that game could shoot out against the Eagles. The Lions' underrated offense. I think they want to sling it a little bit. And I know that the Eagles want to sling it. They want to open up the passing game. That could be a sneaky shootout. That's a sneaky, DFS stacking game, a little bit. I like Amon-Ra, especially if it's in a PPR league, and I'm well documented to not really love Rashad Penny this year. So let's see. Next, Cordero Patterson or Chase Claypool. And then we got a couple questions from my guy Matt on YouTube. We'll get to him in a minute. He has access to my rankings. We don't need to answer his questions. Cordero Patterson or Chase Claypool in the flex, or Garrett Wilson or Mecole Hardman. I'd probably go Cordero Patterson there. I mean, it's all four of those guys. It's kind of hard to project what their role is going to be confidently heading into week 1. Yeah, I would lean Patterson. I just think he's more likely to get targets in the passing game. They're going to be playing from behind. I think they want to split him out a little bit, but even if they just use him strictly at running back, he's going to get his carries, probably 8 to 10 carries and another, 5 targets. All right, let's see. Matt says half PPR, sit 1. Jalen Waddle, Elijah Moore, or Hollywood Brown. All right. Coming at me with the tough ones. All right. Well, we're definitely starting Hollywood Brown. Probably going to be without Ertz. Even if he plays, he's going to be limited. No DeAndre Hopkins. No Rondale Moore. This is going to be the Hollywood Brown show. They're going to use him. I think this guy could see 12, 15 targets against the Chiefs in a shootout, playing from behind possibly, or at least, a high-scoring game. So we're definitely going Marquise Brown. Now it comes down to Jalen Waddle or Elijah Moore. That one's a little tougher. Joe Flacco at quarterback, Tua at quarterback against the Patriots. We know Waddle had his injuries throughout training camp. So we're going to use the start-sit tool and see if we can get an answer based on my rankings, because I think this one's close. I do think it's close. I think I lean Waddle, but I want to confirm with myself here. Put in Elijah Waddle, Elijah Moore, Jalen Waddle, and we're going to select half PPR. And it is pretty close. I got Jalen Waddle ranked as wide receiver 22, and we got Elijah Moore ranked as the wide receiver 27. So Matt, go with Jalen Waddle. And Hollywood Brown. And if you're looking to use this start-sit tool, if I don't get to your questions, it's yardsperfantasy.com/start-sit. Plug in any player. Standard scoring, PPR scoring, half PPR scoring. You're going to see where I rank. You can compare the two players. It'll give you an answer who I rank higher to start. You can even use it for a flex position. But it's also, if you don't trust me, it's also going to give you the Fantasy Pros consensus rankings on those two players. So it's a great tool. I use it a lot, especially when I come into a show not very prepared for this one. So use it. yardsperfantasy.com/start-sit. How do you feel about Darnell Mooney? This one comes from YouTube. This week, I do like. It's going against the 49ers, but the target competition, there's no target competition in that offense. I don't love the offense. I don't love the quarterback. It's a tough, fairly tough matchup. I think it could be an ugly game. But I lost connection. This is terrible. We're going to go Dameon Pierce. We're going to go Dameon Pierce for this week. It's a little bit more. Obviously, we need to wait and see what these guys' roles are going to be, but I think we can walk into this week a little bit more confident in what Dameon Pierce's role is going to be. He's at least going to be the early downs workhorse in that offense. We're hoping he gets the passing game work as well. Breece Hall, I think it might be, at least early in the season, might be more of a 50-50 split with Michael Carter, with Carter probably leaning towards getting those PPR third down passing game work. So I would lean Dameon Pierce there. Dynasty trade. What should you offer for Cam Akers? Man. Cam Akers. I don't know what to do with Cam Akers in Dynasty. I have him in Dynasty in a few leagues, and one of them I'm kind of relying on him as my anchor running back. It's not looking good there. What would I offer for Cam Akers? I'm probably not really throwing out a whole lot of offers. I did see, I think someone posted on Twitter that there was a Dynasty trade that did happen on MFL. They tracked the MFL trades. And somebody gave up Cam Akers for a third-round pick. I would definitely give up a third-round pick for Cam Akers. Absolutely. I'd probably give up a second if I think I'm a contending team that's going to, have a mid to late second-round pick. Yeah, I'm not actively, as much as I love Cam Akers, I'm not actively trying to trade for him unless one of my league mates is, panicking and just going to give him up for a third-round pick or, a taxi squad guy. I would love to buy him, but I'm a little nervous. I got to be honest with you. I'm a little nervous. Isaiah McKenzie, must grab waiver? No, I don't think so, depending on your league. Obviously, the Bills' offense looked fantastic the other night, but one of the things I was worried about, we had this discussion in the Yards Per Fantasy Discord. There was someone in the Discord who was strongly considering playing Isaiah McKenzie. I think he did, and I think it worked out for him because he had the touchdown. If he didn't have that touchdown, that kind of saved him. He was splitting those slot snaps with Jamison Crowder, which is a concern. That's what I was worried about. Khalil Shakir, the rookie, he's in the picture as well. He could emerge later on during the season. I don't think a slot receiver is going to be a priority for me on the waiver wire. Those are dime a dozen. Zeke or Miles Sanders? I'm going to go Zeke. I think we're a little bit more confident in what he brings to the table as far as his role right now compared to, I don't remember who else we were talking about. Wow, I lost it already. Zeke. Hold on, let me go back to the question. Wow. Zeke or Miles Sanders? Yeah. I would be more confident in Zeke. I don't love either one of them. I think I have Zeke ranked as a top 20, borderline top 20 running back this week. Let's check the rankings. I know I definitely have Zeke over him, though. So I would confidently say Zeke. Quarterback. Wilson or Cousins? I would go Russell Wilson. I have him, revenge game against the Seahawks. He wants to fuck them up. I mean, forget about game script in this one. I think they're just going to let him sling it. They're going to let him sling it from snap 1 to snap 70, all the way through the whole fourth quarter. I think he's going to let it loose. He's going to throw 40-plus passes in that game, probably 50-plus. They're going to be up big, and they might just let him keep throwing. Fuck the Seahawks. Fuck Pete Carroll. I'm going Russell Wilson. With that said, I do like Kirk Cousins. I think he's a borderline QB1 this week and what could be a shootout against the Packers. So Elijah Mitchell or ETN at flex. We're going to go Travis Etienne. He's going to get the passing downs work and a lot of carries as well. I like ETN. Gabe Davis or Mike Williams? Well, I would say Mike Williams, but Gabe Davis already played, so you kind of missed your shot there. Elijah Moore or Mike Williams? We're going to go Mike Williams with that one as well. Pretty easily. I have him borderline wide receiver 1. And what is definitely going to be a shootout with the Chargers and the Raiders. Let's see. Questions. Just keep submitting questions. TikTok's blowing up. YouTube, not as much, but that's okay. Pretty much what I expected. What are you doing with Cam Akers moving forward? We already talked about that. Half PPR, Elijah Mitchell or Cortland Sutton. I will take having a Monday Night Football player as a tiebreaker. So we're definitely going with Cortland Sutton. Mike Williams or Allen. I'm assuming that's Keenan Allen. I'm going to go Mike Williams. I think if you want to play it safe, maybe you go with the targets for Keenan Allen, but we don't play it safe. Here we play to win. And I think we go with the upside of Mike Williams. He's also going to get the volume as well, so I don't even think Allen is the strong, safe play anyway. Kittle playing tomorrow, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but it doesn't sound good. I would lean probably not. Let's see. Josh Jacobs or James Robinson. We're going to go Josh Jacobs. We don't know what James Robinson's role is going to be coming out of that Achilles injury. We trusting Trey Lance in week 1? Yes, because of his rushing ability. However, we did talk about some underdog plays at the beginning, which we kind of bailed on. Maybe we'll get back to it. Underdog fantasy, promo code yards per. We're going to play the under on Trey Lance for passing yards. But I do have him as a top 10 quarterback. He's going to be a QB1 in fantasy just because of the rushing upside. But this game in particular would be one of my least confident games of Trey Lance, just because I think they're going to play it super safe. They're going to run the ball a lot. They're going to destroy the Bears easily. So, although I don't think they probably won't beat the Bears by like this huge margin, but they'll just be comfortably ahead. It's probably going to be like this, 27-10 type of games, but they're going to have control the whole time. It's going to be one of these ugly run the ball games, but I do have confidence in Trey Lance still. Michael Thomas thoughts? No. I'm not that interested in Michael Thomas. Borderline wide receiver 3. I don't, he's already hurt. Hasn't played in a year and a half. 7 games since the start of 2020. I mean, like I said, he's already had the hamstring injury. I have no confidence in Michael Thomas. Speaking of Michael Thomas, we have a question here. Michael Thomas versus Terry McLaurin versus Josh Jacobs in PPR. That's definitely going to be Terry McLaurin. Easy wide receiver 1 in that offense, especially if it's a PPR league. Pat Freiermuth or Kenneth Walker? I don't think Kenneth Walker is going to be playing. I don't think we have a definitive answer on that yet, but I think it's pretty easily a no. Pat Freiermuth, I don't like him either. So do you have better options? But those are your 2 options, we're going Pat Freiermuth. Getting a lot of Michael Thomas questions. The answer is I do not like Michael Thomas. Oh, that's a trade question of Kenneth Walker. Is that dynasty? Are we talking redraft? Kind of answer that for me and we'll get back to it. ETN, Thomas, or Brandon Cooks, PPR league. I want to say Travis Etienne. It's going to come between Travis Etienne or Brandon Cooks. So when we have it close, we use the start sit tool. Travis Etienne. And if you're wondering what I'm doing, yardsbyfantasy.com/start-sit. We have a nice little start sit tool that is based off my rankings for the week. It's going to tell you exactly who I have ranked higher. And that will be by 9 slots. I have Travis Etienne higher than Brandon Cooks. But it is close. So we're going to go Travis Etienne. Back to the Pat Freiermuth question, Kenneth Walker in a redraft league. So, while we're talking about these cool freaking tools that we have at yardsbyfantasy.com, we also have a redraft trade calculator. So let's use it. I would say Kenneth Walker, absolutely, because I just would rather have the running back. This guy could emerge as the RB1 on that team by the second half of the season. Ugly offense in Pittsburgh. I mean, it's an ugly offense in Seattle as well, but I think if Kenneth Walker were to emerge as the RB1, I think he's going to outscore a tight end in a terrible Pittsburgh offense. So, wanted a handcuff for Penny. Handcuff. Fuck the handcuff thing. I don't want a handcuff. Handcuff is playing scared, especially with the Seattle offense. I mean, I'm avoiding that backfield mainly anyway, just because these guys are going to feed off each other. It's going to be a terrible offense. I don't care that they want to run the ball a lot. Neither one of these guys catches a ton of passes either, for that matter. So, yeah, I would not be interested in that. However, if it's going to come down to Freiermuth or Walker, that's where we would go. Should Cam Akers be dropped or kept? We're going to keep Cam Akers. We're going to hold Cam Akers because I do not think that what we saw from him on Thursday is what we're going to see from him from the whole season. I do still have some hope. I'm not hanging on to it too tightly, but I don't think he's worth dropping yet. Definitely not. Chubb or ETN, we're going to go, well, are we talking PPR league or are we talking standard, half PPR? But that one's close, but I think I would go Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne, we're going to assume that it's PPR. We're going to go Travis Etienne. Actually, looking at the rankings, I have them ranked back-to-back. Etienne at 15, Chubb at 16 in PPR. Swift or Godwin for the season? Definitely DeAndre Swift. Start 2. Zeke, Penny, Pierce, Stevenson, or Breece Hall. So we're going to go Zeke, and it's going to come down to either Dameon Pierce or Rashad Penny, who I definitely have ranked very closely. So let's look. And we got them. I was right. I have them ranked very closely. I have Dameon Pierce ranked as my RB23, one slot ahead of Rashad Penny. So we're going to go Pierce and Zeke. Waddle or Cooks? We're going to go Jalen Waddle there. We're going to go Jalen Waddle. But again, that's another close one. I'd love to start both of them. I think they're both, low-end wide receiver 2s. I kind of rather go Brandon Cooks. Let's go the wide receiver 1 on his own offense at least. Let's do another underdog pick. So on underdog, yardsperfantasy.com, I don't know why I just said that. We have a column I just put up today on all my underdog picks. And if you use promo code YARDSPER, you get a $100 deposit match if you're a first-time user. So I highly encourage you to use that. Just put the whole $100 in. You don't have to, but I would. You're going to have $200 in your account. Why not? So Cole Kmet, they've got him at 35.5 receiving yards, and I'm taking the over on that all fucking day. The Bears may be a terrible offense, terrible team, but they need to pass it to someone, right? It's going to be Darnell Mooney, it's going to be Cole Kmet, and it's going to be a bunch of nobodies. So Kmet has the athleticism to get down the field for chunk plays. He'll easily leave 35 receiving yards in his rearview mirror. No problem. Absolutely. Cole Kmet over is so easy. Absolutely. Smash that. Let's do one more before we get back to the questions. So let's also go. I think I'm going to go over on Mitch Trubisky, 19.5 rushing yards. This is an interesting one. His best trait as a quarterback is his rushing ability. He's averaged more than 20 rushing yards per game in his time as a starting quarterback in the NFL. When you go back to the time with the Bears, Pittsburgh is going to be playing from behind, so there's going to be plenty of dropbacks. It's going to open up opportunities for him to take off and scramble. Let's go the over on Mitchell Trubisky. And like I said, use promo code YARDSPER to get a $100 deposit match on Underdog. Who should I target for a Terry McLaurin trade? I don't know how I feel about Terry, and I want to move him, I think. Well, I don't know what your team looks like. I don't know. That's a tough question to answer. But I'd be pretty happy sticking with him for now, at least. I think you probably got him at decent value. He was not going super high. Probably got him in the 4th round or so. Going to be the wide receiver 1 easily in that offense. Breece Hall or Dameon Pierce. I'm going to go Dameon Pierce. Thoughts on Courtland Sutton? Courtland Sutton. I love Courtland Sutton. For the season, for the week, Like I said earlier, I think Russell Wilson is going to absolutely go for that revenge game. Even if they're blowing out the Seahawks, they can keep throwing. He's going to be the wide receiver one in that offense pretty easily. Smash him. Smash. Courtland Sutton. Let's see where I have him ranked this week. I got him ranked at wide receiver 11. So he could easily outperform that as well. Week 1, Antonio Gibson or Adam Thielen. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one because I like Adam Thielen, at least early in the season. I like the Vikings offense a lot. So I think he's going to be a big part of that. So if it's a PPR league, I kind of lean Thielen, but Gibson with Brian Robinson out, I mean, that's tough to pass on that. I think he's going to be right back to that role. It's just tough to project what he's going to get in the passing game with J.D. McKissick still there. How much do they trust him with his fumble issues? Been playing on special teams in practice, but if you want to avoid a possible 1 point floor for Antonio Gibson, maybe you go Adam Thielen. But if you want to smash the ceiling, I'd go Antonio Gibson, and I do have him ranked. I'm looking at the start sit tool. I have him ranked at flex 44 overall with Thielen 72 overall. So I would go Gibson. Etienne is going to be good. I hope he makes up for my Allen Robinson start. Same, bro. Same. Is Jonathan Taylor going to have a good week 1? Of course, Jonathan Taylor is going to have a good week 1. It's Jonathan Taylor, man. You drafted him top 2. Going to ride him against the Texans. He smashed the Texans last year, if I remember correctly. Absolutely destroyed them. Game script should be heavily in his favor, although I do think the Texans offense in particular is very underrated. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. With that said, I do expect, the game script to be in the Colts' favor in that game, and I think they're going to ride Jonathan Taylor in week 1. But I did start Josh Allen, so it should be okay. Absolutely. MVP, anybody? I think he looks so good. Some of those throws he was making along the perimeter. Stephon Diggs against Jalen Ramsey. Not many quarterbacks can make those throws. A.J. Brown and Waller for Dalvin Cook. Is this a trade question? Sounds like a trade question. I'm going to assume it's redraft. And we're going to go with, I got to go back up, scroll up. I lost it. We're going to go with the A.J. Brown and Darren Waller side. As much as I love Dalvin Cook in that offense, I'm definitely going A.J. Brown and Darren Waller. Let's see. Pollard, Pierce, or Elijah Moore, PPR. I think I'd go Elijah Moore there. I'm going to go Elijah Moore. Give me the wide receiver. Penny breakout season in all caps. My reply to that would be also in all caps. No. Breece Hall or Dameon Pierce in PPR. We've answered that multiple times, but we're going to go Dameon Pierce because clearly a lot of people have that question. We're going to go Dameon Pierce, although I think for the long term of the season, we want Breece Hall. But I think it could be a slow start for Breece Hall in the offense. Just he's a rookie. I know Pierce is as well, but I think Pierce's role is a little bit more defined. Hall has to worry a little bit more about Michael Carter. Would you trade Schultz for Sutton? Absolutely. Yes. Trade Dalton Schultz for Courtland Sutton. Yes, absolutely. If you have that opportunity, go for it. All right. I've got another good question here. We're going to use the start sit tool for this one. And the question is, Michael Thomas. These are two guys I don't particularly love, which is why we need to look this one up. Where do I have them ranked? Michael Thomas or Rashad Penny? It's very helpful if you include the scoring settings when you ask your questions. But we're going to go Rashad Penny. We're going to go Rashad Penny. Explanation for the Penny take. RB1 by 10 points in the last 5 weeks of the year last year. All right. Yes. Okay. Rashad Penny. I've talked about Rashad Penny all summer. So I also talked about him all season last year. I told you like 6 weeks before it broke out. Pick up Rashad Penny off waivers. Pick up every week. Pick him up. Pick him up. Pick him up. Pick him up. I rode him to championships. I love Rashad Penny. I love Rashad Penny. There's a talent. I've always loved him. And hammering him off the waivers in all my leagues last year. However, he was great. He was great. I mean, 22 fantasy points per game over the last 5 games or whatever it was. However, different offense. Completely different offense. Russell Wilson's gone. This is going to be the Geno Smith offense. It's going to be a terrible offense. Team went out and drafted a running back in the 2nd round. I know he's a little banged up right now, but he's going to be there. It's just telling you, one, they went and got a running back for a reason. So I'm avoiding that backfield altogether because I think they're going to just kill each other's value. So he doesn't catch passes. Terrible offense. Sharing the backfield. I mean, what's the upside there? What's the upside? I wasn't even drafting him in the wherever he was going 8th round. No, thank you. However, for this week, I think he's, top 25 play because I think he's going to have the backfield to himself. Still don't love him. This is a guy who's averaged less than 1 reception per game over his career. So, let's see. Breece Hall or Kadarius Toney in PPR leagues. That one. So that one's tough. The flex questions are tough. So that's why we got the start sit tool. But I think I would lean Kadarius Toney, and I mean, I think both of these guys could come out and have a great week. But I also think both of them could come out and just give you a dud. Toney's been banged up. Hall, I think he's going to come into a shared backfield early in the season. Michael Carter's going to take the passing downs work. So if I have to choose, I think we're going to go Breece Hall. MVS, Michael Thomas, or Romeo Doubs. We're going to go Michael Thomas. MVS, sorry. Although I think if you look at my rankings, I probably have Michael Thomas slightly ahead. Let's confirm. Michael Thomas. I have Michael Thomas. Where is he? Got to scroll a little bit to find Michael Thomas. This is not 2019 anymore, guys. I think we scrolled too far. Where the fuck? Michael Thomas is my he's wide receiver 36 for the week. Obviously not very confident, and I've already forgot who the player is we were comparing him to. This is why I don't do these off the cuff shows like this, unscripted. But that's okay. I lost it already again. MVS. Michael Thomas at MVS. I have them ranked back to back with MVS and my wide receiver 35. Michael Thomas is wide receiver 36. I think easily I would go MVS just because that game's going to shoot out. All he needs is one chunk play down the field. This is a big play threat. I don't think Michael Thomas has that in him. He never really was that guy. I think that's going to be a slow playing, low scoring, grind the ball, hand the ball off to Kamara, Mark Ingram type of game. And now he's got target competition for the first time in his career. So we're going with the upside of MVS. Trade Schultz or Pat Freiermuth. Definitely Dalton Schultz. Definitely. I mean, not even close. Not even close. Bateman, Chase Edmonds, or Christian Kirk. So this one comes down to Bateman or Chase Edmonds for me. I'm just going to assume this is a PPR league. I love both of these guys this week. Chase Edmonds, he's got that backfield. Although I think early in the season we could see a little bit from, why is his name escaping me? The back, Mostert from the 49ers. So it's very close. I have Chase Edmonds ranked higher. However, using our start sit tool, you can also see that the Fantasy Pros consensus gives a slight bump to Bateman. But I'm going Chase Edmonds. I think both are iffy, but I'd go Thomas. Let's see. Scroll up a little bit. We're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. If I don't get to your question, just hit me back up. We're gonna be back at 12 o'clock Eastern tomorrow, and the last hour leading up to kickoff, we're gonna talk some more start sit questions. You guys want to hear any more of the underdog plays before I log off? I'm gonna take some more questions, but I don't think you're that interested in those. I think you want me to answer your questions, right? And if you want my underdog plays, just go to yardsperfantasy.com. I think it's our latest article. It's right on the home screen, and download the app Yards for Fantasy. Just search it in the App Store. You could also see it in if you haven't subscribed, but in the future, subscribe to our DFS and betting guide, yardsperfantasy.com/bets. We put out 33 pages of content for just week one plays. For DFS, we had put out lineups for GPPs and cash games. We had strategy articles in there for this week. We put our bets, our top bets of the week from my guys, Zach, Drew, and Britt from the Units Per podcast on Yards Per Fantasy Network. All this stuff is in there. And if you bet at BetUS, use our promo code YardsPer, get a 125% deposit bonus. That's at BetUS. So I would recommend subscribing to our DFS and betting guide. That's yardsperfantasy.com/bets. It is free right into your inbox first thing Saturday mornings. Every week throughout the season, we're going to win some cash together, baby. Let's take a few more questions. What do you think of Hunter Henry tomorrow, PPR? So I think Hunter Henry is probably a high-end tight end 2, maybe a low-end tight end 1. Let's see where I have him ranked. He's pretty touchdown dependent. I think that's going to be a low-scoring Miami game. And like I said, I have him, ranked tight end 12. So borderline tight end 1, touchdown dependent. Trubisky. You're asking about Trubisky. Should you start him? I don't know who your other options are. I would say probably not. Mitchell or Gibson? We're going to go Elijah Mitchell. Oh, this is a DFS question. Okay. DFS question. Well, if you're playing in a cash game, I would go Elijah Mitchell. I think he's going to give you a little bit of safer floor. But if you want to smash in a tournament, we're definitely going Gibson because he's just got the ceiling. This guy is an explosive runner, great as a receiver. I know they're probably not going to get a lot of work in that area, but you never know. Definitely more upside with Antonio Gibson. But if you're looking for a safer play, we're going to go Elijah Mitchell. Flex, Robert Woods, Travis Etienne, DK Metcalf, or Rashad Penny. So that one comes down, for me, it's going to come down to Travis Etienne or DK Metcalf. So I would very strongly lean towards, let's go Travis Etienne. Let's confirm with my rankings here. Where I have these guys. I'm assuming this is a PPR league. And yes, Travis Etienne. Penny or Zeke flex for this week, PPR. We're going to go Zeke, but they're close. Kirk or Thielen, DFS. Let's go Christian Kirk. Yeah. Eagles or Browns defense this week? I don't answer defense questions. Sorry, not my thing. Not my thing. Not nothing. I mean, I'm just not going to give you a great answer. That's all. ETN or Thielen. We're going to go Travis Etienne. Would you rather pick up Elijah Moore or Sterling Shepard? This is a serious question. We're going to go Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore over Sterling Shepard, please. Easy. And pick up. I mean, Elijah Moore should not be on your waiver wire. If that's what you're asking. Oh my God. Whew. Someone roast that guy in the chat. I got to be nice. Tony Patterson or Olave for the flex. Let's go Cordero Patterson. I don't love any of those guys, but let's go Patterson. Need to choose the best backup rest of season 14 team PPR. Jeff Wilson, Damian Williams, Dontrell Hilliard, or KJ Hamler. Well, I like KJ Hamler a lot. I would draft him higher. Because I think he could play, once he's fully healthy, he's going to play a very light version of the Tyler Lockett role in that offense. He's going to be the downfield threat for Russell Wilson. He's just an explosive guy. I know he's coming off the ACL. But if I'm keeping guys on my bench, I typically lean running back. However, I don't see a lot of upside with Damian. See, Damian Williams, I don't think he's the backup. Or you're asking your backup, like your bench player. Because Damian Williams is going to start the season as the RB1 in Atlanta. I think Tyler Algier will probably boot him out of that job eventually, but I think it's going to start Damian Williams. However, it is the Falcons offense, not a ton of upside. I think if I'm holding guys on my bench, it's going to come down to Wilson, Damian Williams, or Hamler. Forget about Hilliard. I think he's lower on the depth chart than we'd like to admit. I think I'd go Jeff Wilson. I think he's got... See, that's the thing is if Elijah Mitchell goes down, well, is it going to be Jeff Wilson? Is it going to be Tyrion Davis-Price? I think it could be a split backfield. I do love Davis-Price. I just drafted him in the 3rd round. It's hitting me with these tough questions. This is 10 o'clock at night. I got to go to bed, man. Yeah, we're going to go Jeff Wilson. Fuck it. Let's see. Sorry, I took way too long on that question. For a pretty irrelevant question. Mike Davis or Raheem Mostert, full PPR. We're going to go Mike Davis. Although I don't like either one of those guys this week, but it sounds like you're in a deep league, so let's go Mike Davis. Freiermuth or Kmet. We're going to go absolutely going to go Cole Kmet. Much less target competition in that offense. It's Darnell Mooney. It's Cole Kmet and nobody. Pringle. Velus Jones. There's one other guy I'm forgetting off the top of my head here. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember who the other guy is there. But yeah, we're definitely going Cole Kmet. What do you feel about Breece Hall on the Jets? So, from a dynasty perspective, I love Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall is one of the best running back prospects to come out of college over the last 5 years. This is an electric athlete. He's a great runner. He's got skills out of the backfield as a receiver. For redraft, which is what I'm assuming this question is for, we've already talked about him, so I'm going to keep this brief. I think he's in a split backfield early in the season. I think he could take over that backfield by the second half. I think early in the season, it's questionable role what he's going to be in. We're going to take like 2 more questions. I know I keep saying I got to go, but we will be back 12 o'clock tomorrow, last hour leading up to kickoff. So we're going to answer all your questions then as well. So if I don't get to your question here, you got my rankings at yardsperfantasy.com. You got the start sit tool, yardsperfantasy.com/start-sit. And we're going to be back on live tomorrow anyway. Couple more though. Everyone is fading Zeke this week. So should I start ETN over Zeke? Yeah, we're going to start ETN over Zeke. Yes. Harris or Sanders? These are two guys that I've kind of stayed away from. I think both are facing a lot of competition in their backfield. Neither are going to catch passes. And I do have them ranked very closely. I'm looking at the rankings right now. I have Miles Sanders ranked as my RB32 for the week, and Damian Pierce as my RB30. Not Damian Pierce, Damian Harris as my RB34. So we're going to give a slight nod to Miles Sanders. Dylan or Penny PPR. This is a really good one. They're very, very close for me. But I think with Allen Lazard likely being out, I think both Packers running backs are going to be heavily involved, both as runners and as receivers. So I'm going to go A.J. Dillon. Even though he's in a split backfield, while I think Penny is going to be without Kenneth Walker this week, so he's going to have that backfield mainly to himself. But he doesn't catch passes anyway, and terrible offense. He's going to be playing from behind. Game script's not going to be in his favor. We're going to go A.J. Dillon. Mike Davis, David Montgomery, or Tony Pollard, or A.J. Dillon. Starting full PPR, which two? So that's going to be Tony Pollard and A.J. Dillon. Chris Olave or Cordell Patterson. Shit, I hate these flex questions. We're going to go Cordell Patterson. Thoughts on Michael Thomas and Miles Sanders for week 1. So if you're asking individual thoughts on each, I think we covered that. But if you want to know which one to start, we're going to assume it's going to be a PPR. I think we lean Michael Thomas. I guess we'll go Michael Thomas. More likely to catch some passes, I guess. But I think, he's probably more likely to score a touchdown too. Because I don't think Sanders is really locked in that goal line role either. Like that's going to be Boston Scott, even Kenneth Gainwell. We're going to go Michael Thomas, assuming it's not a standard league. Hollywood or Sutton? This is a good one. Now, I really think you should be able to start both. I don't know what kind of league you're in that doesn't allow you to start both of these guys, because these are both like must-start plays this week, especially Marquise Brown. I know I have them ranked super, super close. Let's see how close exactly. I have Marquise Brown ranked at wide receiver 13, Cortland Sutton ranked at wide receiver 11. I think Marquise Brown he could score as the wide receiver 1 overall of the week. I mean, that's how much I think he's going to be involved in this offense this week with no Zach Ertz, or maybe without Zach Ertz. And even if they have Zach Ertz, he's going to be limited. No DeAndre Hopkins, no Rondale Moore. They lost. Obviously, they don't have Chase Edmonds catching passes out of the backfield anymore, although I do think Benjamin's going to be involved in that role. That shouldn't affect the receivers too much. Shootout game, high scoring, could be playing from behind. Marquise Brown. I do have Sutton ranked higher, but we got to start both of these guys. You got to find a way to get both of these guys in your lineup. Hollywood or A.J. Brown? Same thing. You got to get both of these guys in your lineup. This week, but I would go A.J. Brown. I'm going to go A.J. Brown, but I could end up being wrong about that one. Just start them both. You got to start them both. You have to. Do I start Tyler Lockett or Sammy Watkins? I also have Godwin, but I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know about Godwin either. I don't think we know. I think it's going to be a game time decision. Sounds like if I had to guess based on nothing, I would start Chris Godwin. Not Chris Godwin. I think Chris Godwin is going to play. However, I'm going to play Tyler Lockett out of those options. Not with a lot of confidence. He could give you a fat 0. But Geno Smith can get the ball down the field. It was a limited sample size, but he was efficient throwing the ball down the field in his starts last year. And Tyler Lockett, he's always been productive. He's always been boomer bust. Sometimes you got to just go for the boomer bust. And I think we know Sammy Watkins, over his career is mostly bust. And I think you've got a much better chance of having a big week from Tyler Lockett, while both could give you a 0. So I would definitely go Tyler Lockett. Damian Pierce or Mike Williams? We're going to go Mike Williams. Brandon Ayuk, Tony Pollard, or Kenny Gainwell in the flex. We're going to go Brandon Ayuk. I don't have a ton of confidence in that 49ers passing game for this week in particular, just because of the Bears. Obviously, I'm not worried about the Bears defense, but I'm worried about the game script. It's going to be a low-scoring game. 49ers are not going to have to drop back and pass a ton. I don't think they want to anyway. They're not going to have to against that Bears team. But I still would go Brandon Ayuk there, especially because it looks like we're going to be without George Kittle this week. Another Ayuk question. Ayuk, Doubs, Devontae Parker, or Thielen. We're going to go Ayuk. Chase Edmonds or Elijah Moore in the flex. Oh, this one's really tough. This is another one of these where I'm like, I think you really got to find a way to get both of these guys in your lineup if you can. Obviously, you can't if you're asking the question. I do like them both a lot this week. I'm going to assume, again, we're going to assume this is PPR league, in which case we're going to lean, we're going to lean Chase Edmonds. But it is close, and I'm looking at it right now. I have Edmonds a little bit ahead of Elijah Moore in flex. Zach Ertz or drop him for Hooper, Gerald Everett, or Evan Ingram. Well, I wouldn't want to drop Zach Ertz if you can hold on to him, even if he doesn't play this week. Just because I think if he doesn't play this week, I think he'll be back in week 2. And that's still going to give him 5 weeks without DeAndre Hopkins. I think he'll be possibly the top option in that passing game when he is out there healthy. I do think Hooper is a decent play. No upside, but a decent play. Gerald Everett, high range of outcomes for him in that offense. He could be this guy who scores some touchdowns. Evan Ingram, he also is in line for possibly some volume, decent target share. So I wouldn't want to drop Zach Ertz for any of those guys if I could hang on to him. If I had to pick one of those guys up to start this week if Zach Ertz is not playing, let's see where I have these guys ranked. I always reference the rankings when I have a close one like this, just because when I'm sitting down to do my rankings, I put a little bit more thought into it than, 10 o'clock at night on a Saturday night. And I was right. These guys are very, very close. I have them ranked back to back to back, and actually back to back to back to back to back if you include Ertz. So I have Hooper ranked highest among him, Ingram, and Everett. He's the tight end 16. Evan Ingram, tight end 17. Gerald Everett, tight end 18. So that's the order I would rank those guys for this week. If you want the upside, I would go Everett. Safest play is Austin Hooper. And in this case, I think you're probably just playing for the safer play for that position. Hollywood Brown or T. Higgins? Let's go Hollywood Brown. But again, you got to start both of these guys. Is Juju worth trading Mooney and St. Brown for? Nope. I think all three of those guys are probably fairly close. I'd take the 2 guys over the 1. Saquon or DeAndre Swift? Ooh. Again, you got to start both of these guys, but if I have to choose, I'm going to assume it's PPR, but I guess it doesn't really matter because, I guess it does matter. But I'm going to go DeAndre Swift with a slight. I have him ranked 2 slots ahead. I have Swift ranked at RB5 in PPR this week. Barkley RB7. So these are both RB1s. You got to start them both. Deontay Johnson or DJ Moore. Let's go DJ Moore. I know I keep saying I got to go, but we're going to give this 5 more minutes and I'm not going to extend it anymore. Zeke or Edmonds for the flex. It's going to go Chase Edmonds. Start 2. Sutton. Oops, I lost this question. Sutton, Elijah Moore, or Deontay Johnson. That's actually Elijah Mitchell. We're definitely going Sutton, easy. So it's going to come down to Mitchell and Deontay. So Deontay is dealing with that shoulder injury. Sounds like he's going to be good to go. Yeah, that one. I see why I have a tough one. That one. Easily Sutton, for sure. Let's go Deontay Johnson, assuming PPR. Keenan Allen or T. Higgins? Thinking about the matchups, what's your opinion really want to hear? Keenan Allen or T. Higgins? Again, this is one of these, I think you got to start both of these guys. I don't know what these leagues are where you're not starting both of these guys. But I do have T. Higgins ranked a few slots ahead of Keenan Allen. But I think they're both in a position to smash this week. I think the game script is going to be better for Keenan Allen. I think that's going to be a shootout, a lot more passing. But I think T. Higgins has higher upside. So I think you got to start both these guys, but I would go T. Higgins if I had to choose. Is trading Chase, Dobbins, and Nyheim Hines for Aaron Jones and Elijah Moore a W? No. I would rather have Jamar Chase and Dobbins and Nyheim Hines over Aaron Jones and Elijah Moore. Sorry, bud. How do you feel about Brandon Ayuk? We did talk about Ayuk a minute ago or a few minutes ago, so we'll keep it brief here for the people who have been here for a while. But Brandon Ayuk, I think he's a wide receiver 3 this week. I do like Ayuk a lot. I think he's going to benefit from George Kittle probably not playing. But I do worry a little bit about the game script in this game. The Bears, while they're not a tough matchup, when you play a bad team against a bad offense on the other side, I don't care how bad the defense is, especially when you have a quarterback who is inexperienced, struggled a little bit in preseason. I don't think they're going to throw it a lot. I do still think Ayuk's a wide receiver 3, but I don't have a ton of confidence in him this week. For the season, I love him because I think he's going to be a great match with Trey Lance once they do let him loose a little bit. But I don't think week 1 is going to be that week. Okay, so I got another question here. Christian Kirk or Brandon Ayuk? We're going to go, or Sammy Watkins. Not Watkins. So it comes down to Kirk or Ayuk, and I actually have these guys ranked back to back. Wide receiver 32 and wide receiver 33. So we're going to go Brandon Ayuk with a slight edge over Christian Kirk, but I think it's a toss-up. You could go either way. Should I accept this trade? I get Tyreek Hill and Dalvin Cook, and I trade away Courtland Sutton and Eckler. No, I would keep your side. Keep Sutton and keep Eckler. I like Eckler over Dalvin Cook this year. I think it's very close. I'm happy with either one, obviously. And I'm fading Tyreek Hill slightly. I love Courtland Sutton. So that's the way we're going to go with that one. All right. Who is going to get the last question? Because we're going to take one more. Then I'm done. We got to be done. Why don't we give it to YouTube? There's a few here on YouTube. In standard. Let's show this one. In standard, would you do Najee and Juju for Hollywood and DeAndre Swift? This looks like a trade question. I think it's pretty close. Najee Harris, Juju for Hollywood, and DeAndre Swift. So in that case, I want Hollywood and DeAndre Swift. Yeah, I want Hollywood and DeAndre Swift. I don't love Najee this year. Most of his production a lot of his production last year came on checkdowns from Ben Roethlisberger with that noodle arm. Now he's got a quarterback who, can push the ball down the field, but also can run the ball. So he's going to be less apt to check it down to Najee. And it's going to be a bad offense. Well, I don't know a bad offense, but not a great offense. I think DeAndre Swift in an underrated offense, he's absolutely going to get the passing game work, plus a lot of the running carries as well. I love Hollywood Brown. I do like Juju, but I like Hollywood Brown pretty significantly over Juju. So that's where we're going to go. We're going to go with the DeAndre Swift side. All right. So we gave YouTube one. We're going to give TikTok one. Then we're going to be done. If I didn't get to your question, yardsforfantasy.com, find all my rankings. You'll see how I would have answered the question. You can also use our start sit tool to really see how I would answer the question. You could take one player and compare them, whether they're in the same position or in the flex spot. That's yardsforfantasy.com/start-sit. And we're going to be back live at 12 o'clock tomorrow, the last hour leading up to kickoff. And I will answer as many of your questions as I can get to. So, last question. Who's it going to be? Who's got it? Let's get a good one here. We're going to do a start sit. We're not going to do a trade one. If you want to use our trade calculator, as you can see here on the TikTok thing, YouTube just sees me pointing at a blank screen. But on TikTok, you can see the little icon here for the trade calculator. That's yardsforfantasy.com/trade-calculator. We literally have everything you need at yardsforfantasy.com. Just head over there, man. Just download our app. You got a trade calculator right in your hand on your app. Just go to the App Store on Google Play, App Store. Search Yards for Fantasy. Download that bad boy. All right. Flooding with questions here. Hate that I'm going to have to shut this down. I haven't even had dinner yet. So I got to get ready for tomorrow. I've got a big day of football. I'm going to be on the show again tomorrow. So we're going to go. Let's find a question. They're coming in way too fast. I can't even read them. All right. We're going to go to the start sit tool for this one. So I got one in mind, but I just want to get you an answer real quick because this is a pretty good question. But I do think I know the answer. I just want to verify with my rankings. And yes, rankings check out, and it is close. So I see Eric G is going to get the last question of the night. Tony Pollard or Juju Smith-Schuster to start in week 1. That one is going to go to Juju. I think I like them both, obviously. I like them both. I have them in for flex. I have Juju 50th overall, Tony Pollard 57th overall for flex position in PPR in my rankings. It's going to be a shootout for Juju and for Pollard. But yeah, I think Juju's going to be second in targets on that team. Pollard still does have to compete with Zeke as much as we don't like it. He does have to compete with Zeke. He's also, got other target competition in that offense with obviously CeeDee Lamb, Dalton Schultz, Jalen Tolbert even. So that's where we're going to go. We're going to go Juju. Thanks for all the questions tonight. I wish I could get to them all, but there's literally hundreds just pouring in on TikTok. I will be back tomorrow at 12 o'clock, last hour before kickoff. And we are going to do this all over again. So we're going to say bye to YouTube. Bye, YouTube. See you tomorrow. Come back with your questions. Love you.